Hi, this is Grandpa Dickey. Today I'm going to go over how to put together the 1529. A lot of the 1500 series carts go together in the same manner. Some just have a little different structure as far as the open shelves and that sort of thing, but the basic assembly is all the same. And also with the 515 series carts, a lot of those are the same. Today, this is the 1529. The first thing we're going to do is put the tabletop sticks onto the side panels. There is no difference in the side panels. The big holes on the outside go toward the bottom. You see the holes in the bottom are for the casters, so that's the bottom, that orients you. And then on the inside, top, you see two little 1/8" holes. The ones with the countersink are bored in there. They're going to go down with the long ones going right there. Okay, now we're going to take the back panel. That's the biggest panel you have. You see the holes in them. Two big ones, a small one for the dowel, and these closer to the bottom go on the bottom. You put the side panels and make sure you got the holes on the bottom for the casters. Then we're going to attach the sides to the back panel with 1 3/4 machine screw. With your fingertip on that nut, pretty soon you can line the two of them up. Your fingertip. Okay, now we're going to attach the other side exactly the same way. Okay, now we've got the side panels attached to the back panel, like this. I'm going to take the top and invert it on a nice smooth surface, and you notice there's 4 holes there. These holes are going to line up with the holes in your stick. Okay, now we're going to assemble the drawer. This is the drawer back. This is where the dowel will go through. This is where the drawer bottom will go in. You're going to attach the drawer back to the drawer sides. There's a left and a right, but it's easy to distinguish because of the slot. The slot's going to line up with the slot in the drawer back. So what we do is we take 1 1/4 number 8 screws, and we're going to attach the drawer sides to the drawer back. Line them both up. Here again, I've got to make sure that the guide lines up. Okay, now we have our drawer sides on. Next thing we're going to do is slide the drawer bottom in. Take the best side and face that up, because that's going to be the inside of your drawer. Just slide that right down in the notch and make sure that it's seated into that notch that's in the back there. You're going to have a little bit sticking up here. That's going to go. Okay, we're going to attach the drawer front to the drawer sides with cam post and cams. The cam post has a Phillips head, a blank space, wide spirals, small spirals. We're going to take and insert that into these pilot holes. There's 2 of them there. And we're going to screw them down to the first set of threads are all the way in the wood, and the inside face of the drawer front is resting on the wider rung there. Then you know you got it in proper place. You're going to take the cam nuts, and the cam nuts have a little Phillips slot in them, and also look on the lip. I can't show you here, but there's also a little arrow that tells you the direction it turns, and then there's another little arrow on one of these 4 points there, and that little arrow is the one that's going to face the post when you put this in place. So we're going to take the drawer front, we're going to insert the bottom into that slot. Then we got to put the cams into the holes on the ends of the brace there. We're going to take a Phillips screwdriver and a cam. We're going to take the open end of the cam. Look for that little arrow. We're going to point that little arrow right toward the post that's coming through there. And then we're going to tighten it down. The last thing I'm going to do is attach the little cup handle. This goes down toward the bottom, the open end here. Insert it in the holes. Take these small machine screws. Insert them from the inside of the drawer. Tighten them down with a Phillips screwdriver. Drawer, turn it upside down, put it in so that I can line up the dowel hole in the back of the drawer with the dowel hole in the back panel. And I'm just going to leave it like that until I can secure it with a brace. Okay, now we're going to assemble the top front brace. That's the blade brace with a little magnet block on it. The little magnet block is going to face up because it's going to stop the doors. But there's a hole in the back just above the block there. That's where the dowel goes. And so I'm going to take the end of the dowel, insert it into that. Just going to let it rest in place. Then I'm going to secure that brace with these 1 3/4 inch machine screws like we did before. Okay, we're going to prep the doors now. Some of the steps may be that you prep the doors first, but it doesn't really matter when you do this. The left door has 3 extra holes in it. The right door doesn't have that. This is your little door spacer. That's going to take up any space, seal up the doors from the outside to the inside. We're going to take and secure that little door spacer. These 5/8 number 8 screws, which are some of the smaller screws. Be sure that the countersunk side is up, because then the head of your screw will go down in there and won't catch you when you open the door and that sort of thing. And then you can put the knobs on. The knobs have the little short machine screws to go with them. Okay, the last thing you do to the door is you take the right door, you open up the magnet pack, and in the magnet pack you have a little plate. There's a countersunk hole here, reamed out a little bit, and 2 little bumps on the back side. The bumps go toward the wood. And then there's 1 small screw in there. It's a number 4. But when you put that in, it's nice and flush, which has to be in order for the magnet to stick. Just take that, and there's a little hole. You can see that or not, but there's just a little pilot hole. We're going to put that in. We'll put the pins in the door. Takes 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom. These are the longer pins, 1.5 inch pins. Put them right in the top. Stick them in there. It's okay if they're loose because they're just a pivot pin. You can take the other one and do the same thing. Okay, now we're going to put the doors in place. You'll notice that in the bottom of this top front brace here, there's a pilot hole. That's where the pin's going to go. We're just going to drop that pin in. There's no washer that goes on this side. Put that in place. Knobs are going to be down. Same thing on the other side. We'll put that in place. See, that spacer hides any gap that you might have in there. Okay, now we put the bottom front brace on. It's exactly the same size as the top front brace with no block. You may find an extra little dowel hole in there. We just do that for manufacturing convenience. It's not used on this model. And what we're going to do is, you'll notice that there are pinholes here. Going to face those to the inside. But first, I almost forgot. You got to put the washer on the bottom. Okay, while I've got the cart inverted, I'm going to take the opportunity to put in the caster stems and the casters and the wheels. You'll notice that the stems have little teeth around them. They're all exactly alike. Put them in the 4 holes in the bottom. Tap them down so that those teeth grab the wood. You don't want to pound them flat, because if you pound them flat, you're not going to be able to get your wheels in. I usually put the locking ones on the front and the non-locking ones on the back. Okay, now I'm going to, one of the last steps here while I've still got it inverted, I'm going to put the magnet plate on. Now this is soft wood, so I don't have any pilot holes there. The easiest way to do that is to take the magnet and stick it to the plate. That's just about the center of the plate. And then I'm going to close the door. And you can't see me, but I'll put my thumb on top of the magnet, open the door, and hold the magnet in place. And that's exactly where the screws have to go. Now you have your magnet in place. It's nice and sturdy. So when you close this door, spacer clears the block, and you got a nice fit with that. Okay, the last step is to put the pins in. These are the 1-inch pins to support the shelves. On the bottom, they're fixed. It has to go where it is. So we're going to put 4 in there, 2 on the bottom of each side panel in the pre-bored holes, and then we're going to put 2 into the top. If you notice on the top holes, I can't show you very well, but there's a set of holes so that you can make that shelf, the top shelf, a little bit higher or a little bit lower, depending on what you put on the bottom shelf. So you might just want to pre-plan a little bit there, but if you do decide to change it, there's no big deal. You just pull the pins back out, or you can do that with just a pair of pliers or a claw hammer, and just pull them straight out and then put them in the other ones. So right now, I'm going to put in the 4 pins for the bottom shelf. Get those lined up. You want to take the one without the edge banding on these sides, because you're not going to see that raw edge. Not the easiest way to put this shelf in is to angle it in, put the back in the back pins, drop it like that, close your doors, and it falls into place. Okay, now we're going to put the top shelf in, edge banding out, the back is bare, and just sort of angle it in, lift it up, and drop it on the pins. So just take a little plug, line it up with the grain of the leg, and I just take a little hammer and tap it in. If you think the hammer is going to mar, you can put a little piece of plastic, a little piece of paper in there, and you do that in all 8, 4 to each side, and then your cart's complete.